Here is another interview favorite. Can you explain AWS regions, availability zones, and edge locations? How do they contribute to building a highly available and resilient architecture? The short answer is this. Regions are large geographical areas that contain multiple data centers. Each region operates independently, which is important for disaster recovery and data sovereignty. Within a region you have availability zones, which are isolated data centers connected with low latency, high bandwidth networking. Deploying across multiple availability zones gives you high availability. Finally, edge locations are smaller sites used by CloudFront to cache and deliver content close to end users, reducing latency and improving performance globally. Now let's dig deeper. AWS has a global footprint. Each region is a separate physical area, like US East in Virginia or Asia Pacific in Singapore. Regions are independent. That means if there is an outage in one region, another region continues unaffected. This independence is what allows you to design disaster recovery solutions across regions. Inside each region are multiple availability zones. These are fully isolated data centers, with their own power, cooling, and networking. But they are connected with fast private links. If one data center goes down, workloads can fail over to another within the same region. That is why AWS recommends always deploying across at least 2 availability zones. Edge locations are even more distributed. They are not for running compute in the same way as EC2, but for caching and delivering data through CloudFront. They sit close to your end users in cities around the world, so when someone requests a video, a web asset, or an API response, they get it from the nearest edge location instead of traveling halfway across the globe. This improves user experience and reduces load on your origin servers. Let's consider real-world examples. In healthcare, if patient data must remain within a specific country because of privacy regulations, you would deploy into a region that is located in that country to meet compliance. In e-commerce, your online store may run in 2 or 3 availability zones in the same region so that if one data center fails, your checkout process still works. For a global media streaming platform, you would rely heavily on edge locations to deliver video content quickly to users worldwide. Now, what are the challenges? One challenge is assuming that a single region is enough. For mission-critical systems, like banking or airline reservation platforms, you often need a multi-region strategy for disaster recovery. Another challenge is data residency and compliance. Some clients must keep all data in a specific region, which limits their architecture choices. There is also the challenge of cost. Multi-region deployments are more expensive and more complex to manage. You must balance resilience against cost and complexity. There are alternatives and complementary services. AWS local zones bring compute and storage closer to users in major metro areas. AWS Outposts allow you to run AWS services inside your own data center when workloads cannot leave on-premises. Wavelength zones integrate with telecom providers to bring compute to the 5G edge. Interviewers may follow up with questions like these. Why is it important to deploy across multiple availability zones? The answer is that it provides fault tolerance within a region. Another question, when would you use multi-region over multi-AZ? The answer is when you need protection against a full region outage, when you need global performance, or when compliance requires it. You may also be asked how edge locations help. The correct response is that they reduce latency, provide caching, and offload requests from the origin. To recap, regions are independent global areas for compliance and disaster recovery. Availability zones are isolated data centers inside a region that give you high availability when you deploy across them. Edge locations are distributed globally for fast content delivery through CloudFront. A strong interview answer combines these concepts with real-world scenarios and shows you understand when to use multi-AZ and when to expand to multi-region.